Alright then, I think it's time I got started. Welcome to Terraforming Games with me, Basis of Operations here on the Meeple Palace. Thank you very much for joining me. This show is where I take Skyrim, the video game, and turn it into a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaign. This is episode 7, and I am finally about to get started on my session 3 notes. It takes me a little while to get through each of the episodes, trying to get through and figuring out exactly what it is I'm going to be making, and yeah, it takes a while. So thank you for joining me. Hopefully you enjoy it. But before I do start, let me give a quick shout out to the Meeple Palace Patreons. I am a Patreon myself, but also a massive shout out to Plutonium OD for being one of those fantastic people who support the channel and everything we do over here. If you want to find the Meeple Palace on Patreon, show your support, you can find the link. There's probably a command somewhere. And probably I think there's a thing down below as well, so you can have a look at that as well. But if Patreon isn't your thing, don't forget the Meeple Palace does have a PayPal me link where you can throw a quid or two, whichever you feel, in the future to help support us. So thank you for that, and we'll get cracking on with this, and hopefully I'll get cracking on with some of the old games. So let us have a look at whether my game will play tonight. I do need to load it up. I have been playing on my personal stream over on Basesofoperations, and so I do need to make sure I load up the right one. And there we go. Is it going to work? There we go. Which one do we want? We want Dave the Dark Elf. That's the one we want. And that is outside Skyrim. That's outside Meadery. Let us use this one here. So at the end of the last episode, I was doing a kind of a thing that where my party gets to have you don't have any sound problems sound-wise, except I am quiet. Am I quiet, really? Let's have a look, see if I can change some of that. Let's bump that up to the top and see if that helps. Does that help? Let me have a look at I've got, where am I going? That's what I'm looking for here. Yeah, it's better. Excellent. That's the most I can do really without adding extra gain and stuff, and that's just going to be really noisy and annoying for most people. Let me bring up Skyrim again. My computer doesn't like it. I've got lots open at the minute. It doesn't like doing that. So, but yes, last time I was doing the show, I was just about finishing off showing you the 2 paths that my party could possibly take, and so now I have to follow through with one of those and see what happens, but I'm not sure exactly what's happening there. There we go, level up is available, so we can level up there as well, why not? Let's put that onto health. Do we want to increase one of my perks? I do want to do that actually, because we are bringing through 20% more damage, or am I likely to sneak there? I don't know, let's do that. Just for the time being. Okay, so what I want to do now is, so yeah, I managed to make, so in a few episodes ago, I took my party up to Bleakforce Barrow, but we didn't go in, because that was one option that the party could take, and now, last episode, I took the trip from Riverwood to Whiterun, which is another option that the party could take. I think, however, that my party is actually going to take the trip to Bleakforce Barrow. So the very first thing I'm going to do, hopefully this is what they do, is I'll fast travel to Bleakforce Barrow, and we will have a trek through there and see if we can plan out exactly what my party is going to find in there. Don't forget, there is a paint-off for the folks over at the Meeple Palace between November 19 and February 2020. Paint-off competition. Choose any miniature figurine terrain you want. The themes are ancient and Asian, with 3 main colours to use. It's pink, gold and green. If you fancy having a crack at that, feel free to jump on the Meeple Palace Discord and join in on that one. So we will throw up a hunting bow. I have some iron out daggers, and I'm going to travel through Bleakforce Barrow. So when my party got here, I've already explained to them what they've found. I've described this place, and they've already killed the bandits that are going to be on the outside of here. And this is just a fast travel point, so we will make our way up into Bleakforce Barrow and see what we can find. I imagine that what's going to happen is once they've had a fight here, they're going to want to have a rest, so they will, rather than going in, because they don't know what they're going to find, maybe they might have a rest on the outside of the doors here. And here we are. So, this is a big old room. As always though, I will attempt to kill the bad guys that are already in here before planning out the rest of the that doesn't work, does it? Right, okay. Come on. There we go. Oh! Wow! Need to contact your group and tempt them with some amazing magical item that deters them from... Need to contact your group and tempt them with some amazing magical item that deters them going immediately to Bleakwood Barrows to give some fun in making some quick changes to your notes. Well, actually, to be honest with you, coming straight up to Bleakforce Barrow would be helpful, because of course that's going to they'll get some experience for coming in here. So ideally, I kind of want them to be doing that, to coming straight up here. It's if they decide to go straight to Whiterun. Again, I mean, if they go to Whiterun and talk to the Jarl, then the Jarl will send them here anyway. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, they don't need to coming straight up to here would be helpful. It's the only thing they've got, short of the bounty for going up to Halted Stream Camp, which is north of Whiterun, and technically none of the party are going to know where that is anyway. So what we've got in here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bandits in here, which they can fight. It's a room. Let's have a look what's in here. Unlock the chest. It's not going to work. There we go. Well, we'll take all of that as well. Right. So we have a room that is quite long. Let's have a look to see how big this is. It's about twice as long as it is wide. That's helpful. That'll make it nice and easy to figure out exactly how we want to build this. We have some pillars in the center, and yeah, I like that. So this is time where I now start figuring out if I want to build a map. And I think I will today. So let's build a map. We haven't had any map building for the last couple of sessions, so it's going to be interesting to see if we can build a map. So let's bring up my desk view. My camera was working. There it is. There's my drink. Let's see if we can build a map. Now it's a natural cavern. If we have a look at the cavern, quickly. It's a natural cavern, but I don't have many natural caverns available to me. As what's it? So it's kind of like cut stone and natural. So yeah, let's have a think about how we can do this. It looks more rough stone, doesn't it? Ideally, if I had some dungeon tiles, dungeon stone as opposed to cut stone and natural stone. So maybe it's more cut than it is natural. So that's what we're going to do. We'll do cut stone after all. So let's have a look at the desk view. Bring up the chat so that I can see all you lovely people talking to me. Right, let's have a look. I have my dungeon tiles here. Something just disconnected though, which is not helpful. I'm not sure what it was, but it looks like it's the cameras are still working, so it's probably the controller. Let's have a look what we have in here now. We have all sorts of cut stone, so we'll probably be using these ones. Let's get rid of the natural stone out of the way. Have a look at these. You'd have thought, if I'd have thought ahead, I'd have got these ready before we started streaming, but I don't think that way, you see. So instead I have to get them all out now. So a few bits of terrain, a few bits of furniture that we can use to fill the space up. There is a lot of custom dungeon tiles. I did print off an awful lot of them. If anybody's wondering, these dungeon tiles are OpenForge 2.0 dungeon tiles, which you can find on Thingiverse. Created by Devon Jones. You can just search for that on either Thingiverse, or you could probably Google it, but you'll certainly be able to find results that way. We're almost there. Almost there. Don't you worry. We're nearly there. I don't have any pillars though, which is unfortunate. It would be nice to have some pillars. Got an idea about using the hole. Use that. Ideally, if I get a chance to get any more printing done between now and the session number 3, which hopefully I will do. I might change some of the layout that I've got. My players have played their first session a few weeks ago, and they will be playing session number 2 on the 16th of this month. So hopefully in a couple of weeks' time I will tell you how it went for session number 2, which was heading. They still need to finish getting out of Riverwood. But once they've done that, they'll getting out of Helgen. Once they've done that, they should be able to make their way past into Riverwood, and we'll see how much they get done in Riverwood as well. So what we're going to do is I am going to just simply make a square room for the time, a rectangular room for the time being. Now I've got this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 feet wide, which would mean it's 120 feet long, which is huge. I'm not even sure I can make that long. I don't know if I have the tiles to do that. So we will have to have a look and see. Got a lot of tiles, we've got lots of corners and lots of walls, so that's helpful. May have to mess around with some geometry to see if we can make it that big. Running out of space on my desk now. There we go, that's it. That's all of the square ones I have. So we can't make it quite how big I wanted to make it. Let's play with some geography now. See what we can do. Look at that. That's coming together nicely. Right. Let's see what we can do. Of course, this is just kind of the first stage of getting a room made up. I do need to, what I'll be doing is I'll pull them out, pull them around, and see if I can come up with something that is precisely what I'm looking for in terms of aesthetics and so on. I've run out of side pieces. I have one more side piece, two more side pieces. There we go, that's perfect. However, once I do that, nope, I have another one here. That's good. Let's have a swap that one out for a completely painted one. Here we go. Right, so what we can do now is if I have do is we move that to there like that, move that way, move that way. There we go. So let's have a look, see what you can see properly. Make sure you can see everything properly. There we go. Alright, so let's pop that in there like that. Just tells you there's an exit there. We can have that door open because it opens. So there we go. So we have a room that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 feet wide, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 feet long. So it'll do. Now what I want to do though is of course build in some form of there's nowhere to hide in this room. So what we can do is hopefully I can add in some building supports, so we can remove these blocks here and add in that there, and then throw down some more, throw these down. So as you saw in the game, there's kind of this pillars going right the way up to the ceiling on this, so we can move these around a bit and add in some supports for the roof. Let's have a look here. Now I've got nothing that will, we'll do it that way. There we are. Nice and simple. Work with what we've got. There we are. Now I do have an extra one of these now, but I can't really extend the room any further now than what we've got. What I can do, however, is take this one out here, and much like in the game, I'm going to use this, which is a natural stone, but it's got a hole in it. And I put that there as a campfire, much like they had in the game. Now, actually, you know what I said about I couldn't extend the room, but I can throw that down there. I now have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 long. Never mind. So you can take those out for now. Right. There we are. I think that's what we got. Now we can add in the some supplies over here for the bandits, and maybe there is maybe they brought some supplies over here. Basically, it gives the rogues something to hide in as well, and maybe maybe we have some booze tucked away over here. And I think that would do, because I do have a party of 6. So if I can find my party member figures, and you have to forgive me because they're not all painted. But we have a party of 6. There's 3 of them. Then I have another one there. This one here. And hopefully I will have this one here. And then we have, so what I then need to decide is how many bandits do I want in here. Now, I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to figure out the rest of the dungeon that they're going to go through, see how much they get done. But I have a feeling that they should be able to deal with 5 or 6 bandits that are in this room as well. Let's have a think. How many can we throw in down here? Yeah, I think that would do. It shouldn't be too difficult for them to have a fight, especially considering, you know, there's plenty of places to hide and so on like that. So what I'm going to do now is I will take a picture of this like this, and I will, if you are a member of the Basesofoperations Discord, you will find a picture up there in the Skyrim home game planning channel, where I will throw up a brand new picture there like that. Although apparently I seem to have some connection issues, but I don't think I do, so we'll see. Hopefully it's up there. Other than that, I think that's easy. But what we do need to do is I need to throw up the computer view where I will show you what I'm working on here. So this is the it's the start of session 3 notes. Of course, as always, I have popped up in here. It's session number 3. It's kind of the name of the show, of the session. Now, of course, if my players don't actually make it to Bleak Falls Barrow and they completely throw me for a loop and go straight for heading off to Whiterun, then of course this won't be session number 3 and I'll have to change my notes. We'll see what happens. I will listen to what they say, because of course what they'll be doing is that I will listen to what they say during session number 2 and see where they're kind of planning on going, which of course on the 16th is when they're going to be playing that. So if they kind of throw me for a loop, I should have some fair warning and I'll be able to rewrite my session 3 notes, or not necessarily rewrite my session 3 notes, but restart my session 3 notes and then just change Bleak Falls Barrow notes to whatever it will be, whichever session that will be. Then of course I will throw in my last we left off on here. I will write my NPCs here if there are any named ones, but for Bleak Falls Barrow I don't think there will be many. I don't think there are any, or there will be one which we'll get to in a bit. But yeah, we have the party has arrived at Bleak Falls Barrow. Now, whether they've had a long rest or not, I have no idea. Whether they decided to have a rest outside the barrow or not. You know, they did just have a fight outside, but they might decide to push on, depending on how easy they dealt with that. So this is where where I will explain to the party what they're looking at and where they are. So inside the barrow, the party finds themselves there we go, I will correctly write that, find themselves in the main hall of the Bleak, and this actually has a name. This place actually has a name. I don't know if you caught it just before we entered. It's called the Bleak Falls Temple. It did show up on the screen as just before you entered the room. This large hall is, and then I have a look at how big I've wrote this down. So it is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 feet across. By about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 feet deep. There are supporting structures holding the roof that is about 30 feet above your head. One column is 10 feet into the room and another two hold the roof up towards the rear of the chamber. Now that obviously is, I mean, I don't use columns unless I can print some. I haven't got any columns, but should I get some time to print some things like that, maybe I'll print enough and I'll even them out a bit more. We'll see what happens. So I might change that slightly and change the picture that I've just added to the Discord. But for now, that's pretty much what we're looking at. A campfire burns at the back of the chamber, which is surrounded by 2, 4, 5 bandits. As soon as the party makes a noise, fails a stealth check, or in any other way engages with the bandits, roll initiative against 5 times bandits, and I want to get rid of the caps lock. There we are. There we go. So that's they're starting a fight the second they walk into the room, which is great because that's what D&D is all about, right? So what we're going to do is grab my bandit here, which is the this is in the monster manual, simple bandit, and I do want to create a NPC character sheet for said bandits. So we will have a look at where were we looking at? That one. So we have a quick look here. Its passive perception is 10. Its dex, it doesn't have any other skills, so I imagine they're level 1. They're not too difficult. With hit points of 11, yeah, they're probably level 1. But it's going to be good. So here we go. So level 1. So they are bandit 1. Race or species, it varies. I mean, if my players really want to find out what species they're looking at, then they can do that. Oh, look at that! Life pet reached level 24. Isn't that nice? So these are neutral, evil, I suppose. They have no alignment, they have no allegiance, they are just bad guys. Let's have a look at all of this. They're 11, 12, 12, 10, 10, 10. So it's 11, 12, 12, 10, 10, 10. Which anybody who plays D&D knows that's +1. That's plus... No, it's not. That's +0. That's +1. +1. 0. Nope. I hope I did the right one. +0. +0. Passive wisdom is 10, which obviously means that, you know, if they want to make stealth checks, then of course the DC will be 10. They don't have any special abilities against their saving throws, so again they will be the same as their I don't want to make them particularly difficult. They are just bandits after all, they're not really that hard. So we will just run through these nice and quickly, and I like having these character sheets because it makes life a little bit easier. I do make index cards, as I've said many times. I do make index cards for my characters, so that I can grab them at will, but should I ever need a bandit, so like during a role-playing session, I like to have them here just so that I can make sure that I've got an actual character sheet that will help with playing and doing other things other than just fighting them. The armor class is 11, is 12. The dexterity is plus, initiative is +1. Initiative is +1. Their speed is 30, and their hit point maximum is 11. They didn't have any skills apart from passive wisdom. I don't think they have any features and traits. They just have scimitars and light crossbows. So that's not too bad. Their challenge, I do like to keep a track of this as well. So up on top of their name here, I'll add a space and just type in challenge 1/8. Just it helps me work out that sort of stuff. And then we can throw in the names of the weapons here. So I'm going to grab my character sheet because I don't think, you know what, to be honest with you, they're not really going to be carrying scimitars around because, quite frankly, you know, we have to think about this in terms of Skyrim, and I don't think scimitars are a red guard thing, or no, what are they called? Are they red guard? No, I can't remember what they're called now. But the guys from the Alakir guys, they would be carrying scimitars, not bandits. Bandits would have short swords and daggers, as well as they would have some light crossbows probably. In fact, I probably won't do. Yeah, they'll have light crossbows. So we will. Let's have a look at. I'm trying to find the equipment table here, and we will change the scimitar for things like short swords and things, because I think it would make more sense. So let's see if I can find the character. Here we go. That's the armor. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Is the what's it? So we have simple melee weapons, and where's the scimitar? Okay, so the scimitar is a martial melee weapon, which does 1d6 slashing damage, but the short sword does 1d6 piercing damage, which I think is perfectly fine to change. It's not really going to change anything, to be honest. It's kind of just it's changing the type of damage, but for this part it's not really going to make a massive difference. So yeah, we will change it for a short sword. So let's head off into this, which will be short sword, and we will have the light crossbow, much like in the monster manual. Again, everything they do is +3 to hit, due to the dexterity, which means that they are proficient with the weapon, which means also I can throw in here is their proficiency bonus is +2. Not that I really need to worry about it, but you know, we'll see. It might come up, that's why I write it down. So the short sword and the does 1d6 piercing damage, and the light crossbow does 1d8 piercing damage. So damage 1d6, and then we plus. What is it we plus onto that? Is it the dexterity? 1d6 plus 1. Yeah, it's dexterity. So it's 1d6 plus 1. And it's whoops, I can't spell piercing, P-I-E, piercing damage, and then the light crossbow is 1d8 plus 1 P-I-E, piercing. Let's bring that up because you cannot see that. There's no way you guys can see that at home. So there we go, that's short sword and the light crossbow. I'm pretty sure that's not how you spell neutral. I'm pretty sure it goes that way around. I can't spell, but you know, never mind. They don't have any other skills. The languages they speak would be common, as well as if there's an orc or if there's an elf, they will speak Elvish and Orcish, but only if they can, only if they are that race. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I tend to leave this equipment blank because, yeah, it depends on if they loot them, and I might just randomly say, yeah, you find a sword or something. Most of the time you'll find a handful of gold and the weapons that they're carrying. Other than that, they have the maximum hit point, which is 11. I will write that in pencil when I actually come to it, but other than that, that is a NPC sheet for combat as well. I will write that out, like I said, on an index card for when I'm actually playing, but for now, we'll throw that up there, and that should print nicely and make a racket when it's doing it. Other than that, it's back to the game. So let's have a look and see what the next part of the game is. Just as the printer kicks in. So let's have a look. There we are. I mean, I didn't bother with the hole in the roof because it's just adding, you know, if none of them can fly, but if they can, it just adds another issue. I don't want them running off flying. So I tend to go through all of these kind of creepy, although I did realize that there was a chest in here and it was empty, but I did find, what did I find in here? I found a torch and some gold. So I will actually write that on my on the sheet. If we have a quick look at the computer view, I go back to here. On a investigation, which will be DC 10, let's say, the party can find a chest by the campfire that is locked. Actually, you know what? The chest, it's not difficult to find. I have to roll an investigation, even though it's a ridiculously low investigation, which is almost impossible to fail. I still get the party to roll for it, and they will find a chest by the campfire that is locked. DC 15 will unlock that. It's a dexterity check to unlock a lock, although if you're proficient with thieves' tools, you can add your proficiency bonus to it. If you have thieves' tools. If you're not proficient, then it's just DC, it's just a dexterity check. They can find inside the chest 100 gold pieces and 7 days of rations. So there we go. That's what will be inside the chest if they open it. So that's what we're going to do now. That's awesome. What's awesome? Now we can go back to the gameplay. Now that we've done the chest, we can go back to the gameplay and see what we can get up with next. So here we go. Yeah, I do have some index cards as well. Yeah, so obviously the player character sheets are for whenever I have characters. The bandits, they could come towards bandits and not really have to worry about anything, and actually be able to talk to them. So in which case I'd use the NPC bandit character sheet. However, if they're in combat, then of course I don't want to keep flipping around. I don't want to be flipping between sort of character sheets all the time. So I'll throw down some index cards that has all of the combat stats on them, and then that's what I use to deal with them. Am I getting messages? I think I can hear messages in my ear. Let me have a look and see what this is. Ah, it's Jeffrey. There we go. Right, okay, let's get rid of that. Right. Okay, so they're going to go through some tunnels. You know what? The thing is, I mean, unless my players are actually unpopular, yeah. Unless I'm going to get lots of kind of questions about what they're walking through, which I very much doubt. They're just walking through tunnels and catacombs that are littered with broken rocks and vegetation as the wilderness is crawling up. And funnily enough, there are candles in here, which, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It's probably going to be dark in here, I reckon. I'm not going to have anything that is particularly bright in here, so I think it'll be the first time where darkness is actually going to be a problem, because I do have a dragonborn. And I'm not even sure if gnomes can see in the dark either. So we'll have to see. So as we creep through, going through lots and lots of tunnels, keeping an eye out for traps. I don't need that potion, so I'm going to leave it there. Oh man, this is going on forever, isn't it? There we go. Right, so this is going to be the first puzzle of the campaign, and he is going to... There we go. There he goes. So as my players walk along here, he's dead. So here is the first puzzle of the campaign. Now this is something I'm going to have to think about how I'm going to word it, because I don't just want them to walk into here and just go, oh yeah, that's how this puzzle is done. They're going to walk on, and they're going to walk in here, and they're going to see this guy just get himself handed to him, because that's to tell you that you do not want to be pulling that lever. Of course, there's an iron gate over this side of the room which they can attempt to lift, and I've got something interesting to do with that if they decide to try and bypass the puzzle. And we don't really have a huge amount else up here. They can have a look around the room. They can find a potion of minor healing up here. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult to explain. Now, of course, anybody who's played Skyrim knows exactly what you've got to do here. And spoiler alert, I'm about to tell you, is that of course you have these 3 pillars here, each with a picture of an animal on, and you have 2 up there, you have a snake up there, and a whale over there, and this snake down here has obviously fallen from the center. So the pattern is snake, snake, whale, to which of course you turn this one here until it is a snake, turn this one until it's a snake, and you turn this one until it is a whale. That of course means that you can unlock this without arrows being fired from that hole. So that's how the puzzle's done, but how to explain it to your... You checked gnomes do have dark vision. That's fantastic, which means only 1 member of my party does not have dark vision. I don't know, I'll give you a guess what that is. The Dragonborn. So yeah, how to explain this puzzle without giving it away. Now, of course, the party has entered a room that's about 20 foot by 20 feet wide. It's probably a little bit bigger than that, actually. It's more like 30 feet by 30 feet wide. This is the question. How do we do it? Now, what I'm going to do is where do I stand so I can see this properly? Difficult to actually get this all on the screen at the same time. So this is the question: how do we explain this room to players without giving it away? This is going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. So let's have a look. Let's bring up the let's bring up the computer view and see what we can come up with. First of all, of course, the party does a party after finishing up in the first hall begins to make its way deeper into Bleak Falls Barrow, traveling through dark corridors, no light. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is just to remind myself, there is no light. Traveling through dark corridors that twist and turn, centuries of no life, no travel through these hallowed halls has allowed nature to begin the slow process of reclaiming this long old ruin. It's not long and forgotten because it's quite an imposing part of the landscape, so it's not long and forgotten, it's just long and it's been abandoned. Which actually is probably a better word to use than old. And I still can't spell, so there we go, that'll do. And to be honest with you, what I'm going to do right now, make any blinded figures roll a dexterity check. It's going to be really high. It's going to be, I'm going to make this DC 20. Because this is interesting. You see, as the DM, what you can do is you can instill a certain level of fear, where the party have to roll something. It's not going to do any damage. It's not going to do anything terrible. It's just making them fail a dice roll. Because once that happens, you'll be like, yeah. And there's that moment where it goes through their mind to say, oh God, what's going to happen? And basically what's going to happen is on a fail, the character falls prone with a loud crash. Nothing's going to happen. They're not going to take any damage. They just make some noise. It means that they'll fail any stealth roll that they may have already managed to roll. Not that they need it, but they can do if they want. If they want to be quiet and sneaky around it, you know, and basically, yeah, it's kind of just making it kind of, yeah, I want you to fail it just so that you fall over. And then what that will do is then put the players on edge. It's like, oh no, we just failed this. Oh my goodness, this is going to be tough. They're not designed to pass the test. I mean, on a natural 20, you might they'll pass, but yeah, just making that kind of, yeah, I want you to be on edge, because at the end of the day, what can you do? The party continues on without incident, regardless of the roll. Just roll the dice, fail it, it's funny, I'm the DM, what are you going to do? After about 10 mins of travelling through the hallowed halls, a small light can be seen ahead. The party can stealth their way up through the hallway until they can see a lone bandit holding a torch walk up to a lever in the center of the room, and as he pulls it, gets peppered with arrows and falls to the ground dead. So that was the little bit of thing that we did see him do. He just kind of walked up to it, he pulled the lever, and he died. That is, of course, going to feed into the party to say, look, be careful, there is a trap, you don't need to check for traps, you can see that you die if you pull that lever. Simple as that, really. So what we need to do now is I need to figure out how I'm going to explain this room to my players without giving them the answers to the puzzle. So first things first, they obviously need to enter the room. So upon entering the room, on first glance, the party can see that it is a 30-foot by 30-foot square room. Directly across from them a large steel portcullis blocks the way forward, and a large lever is situated in the center of the room. To the right of the room there is a set of stairs that lead up to a small balcony above the portcullis, where there are some carvings of faces up on the wall, one of which has fallen into the room and has landed face up to the left of the portcullis. There we are. So that is, on first glance, that's what they see. Investigation checks. So this is what we're going to see. 0 to 5. The room is a complete mess. Dust is everywhere. Hang on a minute. Let's do that there. If they get 5 to 10, there are some pillars tucked into what do they call them? Cubby holes. They're not cubby holes, but they're what are they called? Can't think what they're called now. Crevices. In the back left hand side of the room, each with a picture of an animal on them. 10 to 15. As well as seeing the pillars, you also see animal pictures in the mouth of the face carvings above the balcony. If you roll 15 to 20, as well as seeing the pictures, you see a small healing potion tucked up in a small cubby hole on the balcony right on the left hand side. So that's the investigation checks of the room. Hopefully somebody will see this. I'm hoping. If they roll really low, I'm not sure. What's this? I couldn't type as a greasy fingers from yummy chicken legs. Yeah, I like chicken legs. I want chicken now. I did have chicken for lunch actually. I had chicken, rice and vegetables. You was thinking if, I can't. You was thinking if. The stones that had the animal pictures, you on about the little pillars, the rotating ones? The stones that had the pillars were hidden or something. Yeah. The trouble is, of course, is that there's only one way in and out of the room. If the magic mirrors had to do to make it more of a puzzle. Yeah, but the problem is with doing that is that there's only one way in or out of this room. So the difficulty of putting something there is I need to make sure that whatever I do is that they're going to be able to figure out a way of rolling to see through it, even if they roll really badly. Now, of course, 0 to 5 is the room is a complete mess. Even if it's less than, if you roll less than 5, it's basically a natural 1. Most of my party should be able to figure out a way of being able to roll higher than a 5 on their investigation. If I just have a quick look at my D&D Beyond account where my players are. Let me have a look at my players a second. Let's have a look at what the investigation is on these guys. Investigation is a +2 on that character, so that's rolling a 3 or above. I have a character that has investigation +0, so that's 5 or above, and hopefully investigation is +4 for that person. Investigation +6 on that, so he can't fail the roll, and investigation is +3. So it's kind of, basically what's going to happen is as long as they get more than a 5, they should see that there are some pillars tucked in. And then basically what will happen is once they can find the pillars, then they might actually be able to investigate the fact that the pillars, investigation of the pillars, DC, which I will put a DC of 5, just so that, in case you do fail it, and then they can call somebody over to say, come and have a look at this. So an investigation of pillars will reveal that they spin and they have 3 sides each. Oh yeah, they already see that, so they have 3 sides. There we go. And so basically, they see the pictures have a small input, so you see animals on the mouth of the face of the carvings above the balcony. The one on the left is a snake. The one on the right is a whale. And they have 3 sides, and then if the party checks the face on the floor, it is a snake. And then I'll just write it here just so I don't forget, is solution to the puzzle. Turn the pillars so they face upwards with the pictures snake, snake, whale. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put in bad things that happen. So if the party tries to use a brute strength to lift the door, make them roll a strength check, DC 35, whoops, DC 35 because it's impossible. On a fail, the player takes 1d4 damage as they strain a no, they won't take damage. The player strains a muscle and takes a disadvantage on all movement based checks and attacks until healed by potion or magic. So basically what will happen is if they try and brute strength it, they'll pull a muscle in their shoulder and all attacks are going to be at disadvantage, and all strength checks from that point on are going to be at disadvantage. If they're going to try and jump, they'll get a twinge in that muscle and they'll have to take it with disadvantage. It's going to hurt. If a player tries to use magic to move the door, the spell is rebounded onto the player and a result similar to the player is dealt to them. So that's going to be dangerous because, of course, if you try and use, heat metal or something, you're going to take some fire damage. If you try and just force it open, you're going to take some sort of bludgeoning effect back to you. If you try and shock it, you're going to get shock damage back to you. Basically, the spell gets rebounded onto you, and the point is you have to do it. If a player tries to use the lever before they have solved the puzzle, poison arrows will be sprayed at the party, dealing 1d4 piercing damage to each player in the room, and a DC 15 con save, and I think I might have just broken something. No, that's all good. Yeah, we're good. The DC 15 con save or be poisoned. So that's gonna suck. So yeah, and to be honest with you, if any of them try and pull the lever before they've solved the puzzle and they see that and then they do it, facepalm. But then, of course, I'm the DM, and I should expect one of my party to just pull the lever and go, well, I would have thought that maybe it ran out of ammo, because it's not a magical trap or anything. And it's not a magical trap, actually, it's a mechanical trap. So, Meeple Palace is lurking. Thank you very much for the lurk. So I think that should pretty much work it out. I've explained them what the portcullis is there. It's blocking the door and you can't really go any further. There are some carvings of faces up on the wall, one of which has fallen into the room. Investigation checks. If they, they'll see the pillars. If they want to have a look at the guy on the floor, they can just see that the guy on the floor has got, if the party checks the face on the floor, it's a snake. Solution to the puzzle. Oh no, what I want to do actually is this. I need that on it. What's it? So there we go. Solution to the puzzle. That was right. If they just check the thing on the floor, if they happen to see the pillars, but nothing else, they will see that they can spin, and then they should be able to explain to me what they want to have a look at elsewhere. I'm pretty sure I've explained this properly. I think that's pretty much it. And then, of course, if they try and use brute strength, they're going to get hurt. If they try and use magic, they'll get hurt. Basically, don't try and be clever. That's the plan. Whether it works or not is another matter. Alright, so I think that's pretty much it. We've done the puzzle. So now it should be a case of going back into... we should be able to go back into the game now and see some more stuff. So let's have a look. Yeah. And of course, you know, I mean, if you can do this way, you can pull that and then run back and not get hit by those. Whereas I've got it so that it will spray the entire room full of poisoned arrows, just so that I don't have anybody going, well, I wasn't in there. It's like, well, you are or you're not. So... chest, what do we have in here? Scroll of Conjure Storm. I'm not going to give them things like this at the minute. I mean, they're helpful for, you know, when you're playing a single player campaign, a single player game, but I don't think it's worth, I'll say that, I don't think it's worth me giving them this sort of thing, especially things like skill books and stuff. There's no point. There is a switch on the wall here that they could I suppose maybe they could, if somebody has Misty Step, they might be able to snip through here and find the secret. There is a cheat code, as it were, and kind of, if they can find a way of going through here without actually opening the portcullis, they can find a switch on the back wall. But they won't know it's there until they actually get through here, that's the thing. They won't know it's actually there, so we'll see what happens. Right. It's like metagaming here, but I know for a fact, whoops. Really? So much easier. In fact, the taxi, look at that. So much easier if I'd have just hit them with a mace. But yeah, let's get my arrows back. Q. Alright, so we start walking our way through here. Lots of cobwebs now. We're starting to walk through some more caverns, more tunnels.
Someone coming.
And there is our first NPC of the game, is Arvel the Swift. I can just walk straight through that one. And Arvel the Swift, they can just about hear him, and he's calling for help. So we'll see how that goes for him in a bit. Now, one of the best things to do for this guy is to just kill him. Really? It's not letting me do it. Fine, I'll do it this way then. So I'm going to change the order of what happens here, just simply due to the fact that it makes more sense for me to do it this way. The wounded wasn't it?
Get it away from me! Get it away! Don't let it get me! Help! Keep it away from me!
Okay, walking there, it's gonna hurt. Really?
Don't let it get me!
Really? What's that?
Don't let it get me!
Can't get in here. Oh. I'm gonna go toe to toe with a giant spider. That's stupid.
Keep it away from me! Get it away from me! Get it away!
Why do that? Yeah.
Get it away from me! Get it away! Don't let it get me! Help!
Nice spiders. Okay, so let us have a word with Arvel. Ow, what was that?
Get me out of here! You! Over here!
Oh no.
You did it. You killed it. Now cut me down before anything else shows up. Yes, the claw. I know how it works. The claw, the markings, the door in the Hall of Stories. I know how they all fit together. Help me down and I'll show you. You won't believe the power the Nords have hidden there. Does it look like I can move? You have to cut me down first. Help me out of here. Get me down! Get me down! Help me out of here!
Now, I know what happens is he just starts running off. So... Really? Really? Come on.
Never...
Basically, the second you let him go, he runs away, but there is the golden claw. So we'll take that, and we can read his journal. Legend said that it's a test place to keep the untrustworthy away, but that's when you have the golden claw. The solution is in the palm of your hands. So hopefully what we can do is we can have a look at the wiki for this particular page, have a look at the wiki for this mission, and I'll be able to actually hand over I'll be able to give them a handout, my players a handout that will have his journal in there for them to find on his person. But he will run away, that's the thing. He will, if they don't kill him straight away, which I know that Jeff will likely want to do, but I will try and avoid it because they will need an insight check for him. However, I would like them to insight check Arvel the Swift before they just kill him, because that's not very fair to metagame in that kind of way. If you already know, if you've already played the game, you already know what's going to happen. So what we're going to do is once they make it past, so once the players make oh, there is, like I said, there is a cheat to the puzzle. Should any member of the party have a way to get to the other side of the portcullis without actually having to move it out of the way, there is a switch to disable the trap and open the gate. Although it will be a DC 15 investigation / perception to find the switch. So they need to find the switch. Just because they can get the other side of the gate and try and bypass the trap, they do still need to actually find the switch. So now once the party has made it past the trap, they can find a winding staircase to send them deeper into the portcullis. No, deeper into the barrow, where it gets dark once again. Deeper and deeper the party travels along 20-foot wide corridors. After another 10 mins or so, they can just about to start hearing someone shouting / calling for help. I'm going to kind of decide what happens on the fly at this point, whether depending on what the party wants to do, whether they want to kind of start sneaking, whether they want to call out for help, or if they want to start communicating with that person. I'm going to kind of see if I can kind of wing it, because there's no real there's nothing really. I mean, they're not going to set anything off. What they will do though, deeper and deeper the party travels along 20-foot wide corridors, and spider webs become more and more of an issue, to the point that the party begins to travel at half speed. I don't believe that is difficult terrain, where they literally get into a point now where they can't move very well because spider webs keep catching on spider webs and stuff like that. They can use fire if they want to burn them away, but again, if anybody comes up with that idea on the fly, then we'll deal with it on the fly. They can come up with all sorts of ways that they can get around it. This is another one of those things where, there is spider webs and it's becoming an issue, but they can burn it away if they have the ability to. They can come up with a way for coming around and come up with interesting ways of dealing with the situation that I've given them. But other than that, they're just going to have to live with the fact that they are traveling at half speed. So we'll see what happens. So once we get to this point, they start hearing somebody call out for Swift. That's Arvel the Swift. So following the sound of the voice, the party enters a lit chamber, which I'm going to say is about 50 foot square. 50 foot square, covered in spider webs, and a figure wrapped up in a cocoon of webs is covering the exit to the chamber. He calls for help, and suddenly the colour drains from his face as he yells, "Behind you!" At which point, of course, the party then they roll initiative against a giant spider. Because why not? That's fun. So we get to roll up another NPC character sheet. So this is what I mean, as I often have these character sheets, not because I need them, or not because, you know, they, you know, even for my combatants, I would like to roll a character sheet simply due to the fact that, yeah, they're good. So the monster manual. So what we can do, I do have this in PDF, so we'll have a look and see at the top of the page here. We will have a look to see if I can find giant spider. I imagine there'll be spiders here. If not, I'll have to have a look somewhere else. Skeleton, Spectre, Sphinx, Sprite, Sturgis. No. Let's see if I have a look. If I have a look in my monster list, which I have here, I should be able to find a giant spider on here somewhere and find out which book we can find it in. I've seen them somewhere. Giant. Oh, challenge level 2. I don't want to look for them via challenge ratings. I want to have a look for them via list. Giant spider. Giant spider is in the monster manual. Okay, so where would I find them? Spiders. Spectre, Sphinx, Sprite, Sturge. Miscellaneous creatures? No, I don't think it'd be miscellaneous creatures, would they? Okay, let's see if we can find the back of the book. Find the index and see if we can find them. Giant. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Giant spider, page 328. It's not too far back. It's probably under the miscellaneous beasts, actually, or creatures. Warg, warhorse, swarm of insects, polar bear. Did I say 328? Is that what I said? Giant. Oh, there it is. Oh, look at that beautiful thing. Giant spider. Here we go. Right. Whoops. Don't want that too much. Here we go. Challenge 1, 200 experience. So that's going to be quite nice. Hit points is only 26, so that's helpful. It's not going to be too bad. Stealth is +7. Damn. Spider can climb difficult surfaces, including upside down on ceilings, without needing to make an ability check. Web sense. While in contact with the web, the spider knows the exact location of any creature in contact with the same web, which the entire encounter is going to be connected to the web. The spider ignores movement restrictions caused by webbing, but they are going to be covered in spider webs. So the entire party is moving at half speed. It's going to be interesting. And so on. It has a bite attack, it has web, ranged attack, +5 to hit, range, one creature hit. The target is restrained by webbing as an action. The restrained target can make a DC 12 strength check, bursting the webbing on success. The webbing can also be attacked and destroyed. AC 10, HP 5, vulnerability to fire damage, immunity to bludgeoning, poisoning, and psychic damage. So yeah, it's giant spider. I don't have a giant spider miniature, but I'm sure I can find a toy somewhere. How big is it? It is a large beast, so that makes it a 2-inch by 2-inch amount of space. Unlock. Thank you very much for coming back. So here we go. So a giant spider. So its class is not applicable. It is a spider. Its large is neutral. It's just a beast. It's just a beast. It's true neutral. It's not evil. It's just neutral. It has no allegiance or groups. So there we go. None. So what we have in armor class was 14. So we'll do that. 14 is its armor class. Wrong one. Its dex is +3, so its initiative will be +3 as well. That's as far as I'm aware. That's how it works. Its speed is 30. It's 30 feet, pretty much the same as everything else. And its hit points is 26. So it should be a bit of a fight, actually. I reckon the party will probably have to take a short rest after this. We will have a look at its skills. Is strength, stealth, +7. That will go under there. We have a look at sensors. Its blind sight is 10 foot. So all of these sensors that it will have is under features and traits, other proficiencies and languages, spells, roleplay information. I think we'll put it under skills as well, just because it needs it at some point. I don't think I'm going to need much of this information here. In fact, I don't need any of the passive perception because that has its own little box down here. Passive perception was 10. So it's actually quite difficult to stealth. It's actually quite easy to stealth up against a giant spider, but then also it is going to stealth up on you too. So we got 14 plus 2. So 14, which is +2. Its dex is +3. It's 16, which is +3. Its con I saw was 12, which will be a +1. Initiative is intelligence is 2, so that's -4. Damn, I haven't seen anything like that for a while. Its wisdom is 11, so it's +0. Its charisma is 4, -3. Lovely. So we have spider climb, so we're just going to put this under features and traits as well, I think, just to remind me. That goes there. We have web sense. We will put that in. In fact, actually we'll put all of this on the features and traits as well. It's really small and I can't see it, but hopefully I'll be able to see it when I print. Oh, there we go, that's better. So that's that. we also have its actions, which is a bite, and its web. So this will go under. There's a lot to go on here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this whole bit here, and then I'm actually going to put it under here, the roleplay information. Like that, and the web here as well. Basically, because I mean, I know it's going to be attacking, but at the end of the day, it bites and it does a web. I'm not going to, or bites or a web. I'm not going to add any attacks and stuff in here because there's no point. Let's have a look. It sounds nasty, yeah. I always think larger is bigger than huge. Don't know why. I don't know. Is huge 3x3? I don't think a huge is 3x3, is it? Oh yeah, of course it is, because then gargantuan is 4x4, isn't it? I wonder if there's a cheat sheet where some magical person has moved all the monsters, etc. into actual character sheets where you can save to personal drive and edit if necessary. If somebody has, that would be awesome, because it saves me doing this. That would be awesome, because there are, but although there are a lot of them, I mean, I could probably do it like that. I could probably do it myself and then just print them out and then whatever, but I mean, I can't actually save this. I have to print it out once I'm done, and then I can then print them off, and then I just have to print them off basically. Proficiency, I'm going to add at +2. So strength is proficient at +4, and I imagine it is poisonous. So its constitution is going to be +5. No, it's not. Its constitution is going to be +3. Its dexterity is +3 for its save. Its intelligence is -4. So you know, there we go. If you want to kill a giant spider, you attack its intelligence. +0 for wisdom, and its charisma is -3. So just call it names, and it should die. Other than that, I think that should be everything I need to do on this. Yeah, there we are. So we can print that off as well. Print. Thank you. Right, so we will print that. There we go. That's the giant spider, and it's gone. I wish I could save them. I really do. But instead I'll have to, yeah. So this is the, what's it? It's going to try and, basically it'll try and web anybody as soon as it can. Because then that's what it wants to do. It doesn't want to eat anything straight away, so it will try and web everyone. And then that's how you play it as well. Is if you're DMing a game, most of the time a spider will try and web its attackers, and then it will then try and bite them. It won't try and bite them without webbing them first. Of course, if it has a recharge, then obviously you go for the bite. And it will probably go for the biggest and scariest thing first as well. So, you know, you go for the tank first and try and web them. So that's what I'm going to do. You want an X-spider? Did it? Yeah. I'm sure you can. You look into it. Yeah, I mean, the thing is it's basically, I've tried downloading them, the NPC sheet. I've downloaded the sheet. But I can't seem to save the filled in one. I just can't seem to do it, so we'll see how it happens. Anyway, right, so that is the fight with the giant spider. Having a look at the game, it's roll initiative with the giant spider. Now, what we want to do as well is, actually, I do want to come up with, there is what I'm looking for. and we have a look for Arvel the Swift. So this guy is the guy we just killed. Once my internet can speed up and get on with it. And it's crashed. The stream crashed. Well, it did on my end anyway. What have I dropped? I've dropped 112 frames, so that's helpful. Right. Okay, so we've got this back. Let me bring up. There we go. Console commands. Nope, I don't want console commands. I want Arvel the Swift. Okay, the Golden Core is a quest. There we go. Right, let's do this then. When it loads up. It's gone really slow. It doesn't like surfing the internet while I'm streaming. There we go, the Golden Claw. There we go. So we've got this on the way. So we've got this is the quest that we're just doing. Objectives: cut Arvel down, retrieve the Golden Claw, cut Arvel down, and yeah, completing this quest successfully fulfills the objectives for Bleak Falls Barrow, which is the quest where the mage from Whiterun sends you to collect the dragon tablet. Cut Arvel down. The voice of Arvel the Swift can be heard carrying out. So Arvel the Swift. Adverts making it go up and down. The voice of Arvel the Swift can be heard crying out for his comrades' help. These include Bjorn and Soling. Despite running ahead with the claw, upon investigating the cries, a large wounded frostbite spider descends from the ceiling to guard its trapped prey. Once the spider has been killed, Arvel asks to be set free. He states he knows about the markings on the claw and the stone door, and that he'll share the power that the ancients have hidden away once he's free. Despite all his promises, Arvel is nothing but a bandit and tries to run once he's been cut free. Since he has the claw, he must be cut down, or let the trap and Draugr up ahead do it. His corpse has a golden claw, as well as Arvel's journal on it. To avoid the impending chase, Arvel can be killed as soon as he is free, as he will stand still for a moment or two after dropping to the floor. Another way that he can die is if he survives the Draugr, he can run up to a spike trap, killing him instantly. Alternatively, the player can use the calm spell to make him fall into a trance, allowing a few seconds to slay him. In other words, you have to kill him. Or he dies anyway. So there's Arvel's journal. So that's another thing that I mentioned about we can grab his book. My fingers are trembling, the Golden Claw is finally in my hands, and with it the power of the ancient Nord heroes. That fool, Lucan Valerius, has no idea that his favourite store decoration was actually the key to Bleak Falls Barrow. Now I just need to get to the Hall of Stories and unlock the door. The legend says there is a test that the Nords put in place to keep the unworthy away, but that when you have the Golden Claw, the solution is in the palm of your hands. Again, I like handing things out to my players, so this actually is going to be used as new. There we are. Post that, and then I need to just format it so that what are you doing? No fill. Right, there we are. Right, so now we can just get rid of the squares, and I'm not sure we can remove the hyperlink as well actually, so I think we can remove default formatting. There we go, that's what we want to do. Get rid of the hyperlinks that are in here, because that makes it look a bit weird. There we are. Let's make this smaller so it looks more like it's written, and we can play around with the text. Actually, it'll be helpful if I no. There we go. We can find a text that we like the look of. Let's Move that up there. Come on, computer. You can do it. We need something that looks like it's handwritten. But here's a bandit, so he's not going to be that good. So I'm not going to use Balthazar, which I normally use, because that's more for, you know, when you're looking at, you know, something formal or something that somebody has written. No, that looks a bit posh. I want something that looks scrawn. You know, he's a... What, creepy girl? No, that's just terrible. That's not gonna work. Let's find something that is... Looks like handwriting. Let's see if we can find anything that looks kind of handwriting-ish. Hand me down. I mean, if we make that a bit bigger... Yeah, there we go, that'll do. So I want to save that, save as, and then hopefully put it in a place where I can find it. Come on, computer, wake up. Wake up. There we go. Let's move that over here. Let's see where I can find it. Yeah, this is Arvel the Swift's journal. There we go. So I can make up a thing for that. Just to hand out, make it look like parchment. So that's that. We've got that. So this is what we want. So the party can now approach the dark elf calling for aid. He introduces himself as Arvel. Let's get rid of that. He asks the party to let him down. He can show them the way and how to use the golden claw. He'll share the loot and be an ally. There we go. I'm probably going to have to try and role play some of this. I'm going to have to try and do a lot of this on the spot because I can't tell yet what my party is likely going to say to them. So we'll have to see how it goes. Let's have a look. What is this here? Let's have a look. Oh wow. Okay. Oh, hang on. Something's working. What's working here? Oh, that's the difference being is that is a full-on character sheet, whereas what I use is a much simpler version, which is it's a, if I show you, what I use for my NPCs is it's a much simpler version, where I can put some information here that's about role playing, and I don't have all of the skill checks available to them, which would normally be here. What else have we got? And the background here is just role-play information. I don't have personality, ideals, bonds, and flaws on this side. Nor do I have, like, you know, equipped items, and you know, I don't tend to fill in the equipment. I do have equipment, but I don't tend to fill it, and so on and so forth. So it's a much simpler version of a character sheet. It still has a lot of the same information, but it's much simpler. If any of the party wish to insight check, this is going to be like DC 15 because he is going to be trying to lie. Actually, what I might be able to do is, yeah, because he needs it would be a charisma, so it would be contested charisma from him lying to them. The party can find out he is lying. Whoops. Why is that on capitals? Party can find out he's lying through his teeth and will double cross them as soon as he gets the chance. We could make copy and delete the parts not necessary for the NPCs. Possibly. I'll have a look when I'm not streaming. I'll see if I can have a look at it and see if I can use it. Thank you for doing that. So yeah, if they want to inside check him, they can just find out he's going to double cross them the second they get the chance, and one of them could kill him. If he is let loose while still alive, he will bolt through the now clear doorway. If he is killed, his body can be investigated. 1 to 5, so 0 to 5, find the golden claw. Because obviously I need them to find the golden claw, that's the whole point of them being in here. 5 to 10, find the claw and his journal. And anything more than 10, basically, they find the claw and 200 gold pieces. Why not? Let's give them some money. He's hidden that somewhere where he doesn't think anybody will find it. And if they get more than 10 on their investigation, they find 200 gold. There we are. I mean, to be honest with you, they'll find his dead body anyway, because he's going to die. If Arvel runs away, the party will find him dead in the next encounter room. So, I mean, I haven't done, I do need to do a 50-foot square room, which I might do shortly, and keep an eye on my Discord where I will do that. However, it's just gone midnight, so I think I'm pretty much done for the night. No problems. How has your day been, by the way? Seen Mrs. Base has been making stunning projects as usual. Yes, she has. And before I do go tonight, I think it's time that we did something I always forget to do, which is jump on to the tapestry. Which, of course, if you're a member of the Meeple Palace Discord, you'll know that there is a channel on there that says tapestry, show us your art, and all that artsy-fartsy stuff that everybody loves to share off. So I'm going to run through the tapestry. And in answer to your question, yes, I've been doing okay. So the very first thing up on the Meeple Palace tapestry is the Meeple Palace painting competition. So anytime between now and the 28th of February 2020, really, there is a painting competition where you can join in and throw up some stuff. What was it? Oh, it's any piece of terrain or any miniature you feel like painting. Make sure you it's ancient and Asian, I believe. I think there's a command that no doubt will go up and make this a lot easier for me to deal with. But yeah, it's ancient and Asian, and you use green, gold. Oh, there we go. There we are. Paint off. There we are. Thank you. 3 main colors to use is pink, gold, and green, and throw up the your entries. You can up until the 28th of February. On the 29th of February, entries will be voted on, and on the 1st of March, the live winner announcement and new paint off specs will be shown. So yeah, make sure you have a good luck on that. You can check out the Meeple Palace on Instagram, and you can find this post on there, so we'll be able to have a chat if there's any questions, or join the Meeple Palace Discord, where you can ask there as well, because there is a channel specially designed for the Meeple Palace paint off as well. You can also scroll up in Instagram feed on the Instagram for the tags. Oh wow, oh, there was a lot of tags there. Let's have a look. Oh no, of course there is. Number 1, Meeple Palace paint off champion themes. Add the finished entries to the Discord channel, which you can copy and post to the Discord link there. Patreon supporters get a special channel too. So yes, make sure you join. If you want to help support us, what we do here, I am just one of the many people who like to stream for the Meeple Palace. You can support everything we do here, and you can go to Patreon as well. Or if Patreon isn't your thing, try checking out the PayPal me link. You'll find those down below. Live announcement in the middle. A live announcement of the winner on the 1st of March, and the winner gets their name proudly displayed on the wall of winners, and everybody wants to be on the wall of winners. So good luck, and may the best Meeple win. And wow, there is a whole lot of tags on there, because everybody loves smashing those hashtags on Instagram. So that is the painting competition, and we will move on to the rest of the tapestry. And the first thing on here is from Missy TTV, who is currently using the Meeple Palace chat, because she is one of the founders of the Meeple Palace, and she has been doing the Warcry bell tower, and it's slowly taking shape, and it is looking fantastic. And one thing I really like about this is the fact that the wood is not all one color. That's brilliant. It's a nice little level of detail that I really like. I tend to do a lot of my wood, and did I just break something, or did I just, no, it just was attached. I have a picture of this coming up in a minute, but all of my wood is the same color, but your wood is completely different colors, which I really like, and I really like that. Yeah, and it's coming together nicely. I'm really enjoying that. And the front and the back there, and that bell really does stand out, especially amongst everything else, and I love it. It's awesome. So yeah, you're sneaky. So up next is the aforementioned Mrs. Base, actually, but she is on Instagram as Crocheting Mummy, and this is a scarf that she made, and it's my scarf, and I use this, and I tell you what, this is something called a waffle stitch apparently. And what you do is, instead of it just being like a knitted scarf, it has this waffle kind of shape on the inside, on one side, and then it's kind of smooth on the other. And basically what you do is you put the waffle on the inside, and it traps air inside it, and you wrap it around there, and it's just like, oh, it's even more toasty than just a scarf. Really nice. It's a really nice grey colour as well. So yeah, Crocheting Mummy on Instagram. And she is also on the Meeple Palace Discord, so you can talk to her on there. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. That's mine. Well, I didn't do it, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. Missy TTV has also been doing herself some knitting. Trouble adding different colours for Xander to use as a Starbucks cup cozy holder wrap thingamajig. He chose a colour that I think has come along well so far. Because it looks like waffles. Yes, it did. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It adds more toastiness. It's brilliant because it traps a little bit of air. It traps that little bit extra air. But looking at this now, the trouble is the delay. So I start talking about the next thing, and then you're talking about something else. But yes, he chose the colours, and I think it's coming along well so far. It looks awesome. I like that. That's great. I mean, knitting, I'm all thumbs. I can't do it. I couldn't even if I tried. But yeah, that looks awesome too. I like that. Nice to have a little cup cozy thingamajig. Yeah, absolutely. I kind of want one now. Maybe to go around the thing that I'm about to share, which I know has been shared on the Meeple Palace already, but I like to share something of mine, which is, it does seem to be a bit of a rite of passage that everybody who owns a 3D printer and plays D&D 3D prints themselves a tankard. This is what I was holding up earlier. Everybody seems to 3D print one of these. It will hold a 330ml can of Coke. Oh, it's a project to replace the card that covers Starbucks drinks. There we are. But yes, so this is my tankard. And some people have been talking about it, and something I do forget is, did I get the STL online, which is somebody mentioned Huminator. And yes, it is. It can be found while I'm talking about it here. If I copy and paste this and throw this into the chat myself, if you want to 3D print it yourself, you know, the file is free. It's on Thingiverse, and you can you can print it yourself. So there we are. So that is something I did just the other day, and I have been practicing and playing around with trying to figure out how I can seal it so that it will hold a liquid so that I can actually drink from it. So there we are. That's my thing. So that is pretty much the end of the show today. I did remember to do the tapestry, and I have managed to get about halfway through Bleedfall Sparrow, which is awesome. So that's my session 3 notes, hopefully, if my players come that far. I hope they do, but even if they don't, I'm getting a hell of myself. Thanks for sharing the link. No worries. It's kind of it's part of the thing about actually 3D printing files, is if you share it, you kind of have to share where you got it from, because it's called the CC license, which is basically share and share alike. So there we are. Yes, thank you very much for coming along to me today. I don't know if the Meeple Palace wishes to do a raid. I will waffle on for just a few more minutes to see if a raid's going to happen, and wait for the delay to catch up. I will be back with the rest of the Meeple Palace cast, playing Horde of the Dragon Queen, hopefully tomorrow night. No, Missy's off to bed, so I will just wrap up the stream and wrap the stream up. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow along with the rest of the Meeple Palace cast to play Horde of the Dragon Queen, hopefully tomorrow night at a little bit about the same time. Thank you again to our patrons. Thank you very much. Me, and which is always weird for me to say, but also Plutonium OD for being a Patreon there as well. And don't forget, if you want to help support, check out the links. Other than that, you'll catch various other Meeple Palace streams throughout the day. I think there's a command for that as well. So I'm sure there's a link for that too, and I, off the top of my head, I can't remember them, but you'll see us doing stuff throughout the week and the weekend. So thank you very much for joining me this week. Hopefully I will be back again doing this show same time next Thursday, 10 PM UK time, where I will carry on making Skyrim a D&D 5e campaign. And I have been your host, Bases of Operations, and you can find me on twitch.tv/Bases of Operations, where I personally will be running my own painting streams and various other things over there, and I will be doing that on Sunday nights if I can remember to take the dog for a walk. Alright guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight. It has been a pleasure as always, and I will say cheerio for now, and I will catch you next time. Alright, bye.